Welcome to Day 25 on the Trail. We have 4 readings for today, from Luke 12 verses 35 through 59, Genesis 42 verses 1 through 38, the 36th and 37th Psalms, and Sirach chapter 32 verse 1 through 33:6. We begin today in Genesis 42. Here, 10 of Jacob's sons head to Egypt to buy grain because of the 7-year famine that has struck the region. Now, why only 10? Well, we know that Joseph is already in Egypt, and Benjamin, Joseph's younger brother, and also a son of Jacob's favorite wife, stays behind with his father. Jacob, believing Joseph is dead, is not willing to risk his only other son of Rachel. So once again, Jacob is playing favorites with his sons. When the brothers arrive in Egypt, they come face to face with Joseph for the first time since they sold him into slavery. However, the brothers do not recognize him. To them, Joseph appears to be an Egyptian. In verse 7 it says, "When Joseph saw his brothers, he recognized them, but treated them like strangers and spoke harshly to them." Our first question is, why? Why would Joseph do this? Is he angry? Is he looking for revenge? Or is there something more to the story? We will find the answer to these questions as the story unfolds. In verse 20, Joseph tells his brothers to bring the youngest brother, Benjamin, to him. Joseph claims that bringing Benjamin to Egypt will verify that they are not spies. But again, we have to ask, why? Does Joseph have another motivation for wanting to see Benjamin? Does he simply want to see his younger brother? Or again, is there a bigger story here? Now in verses 23 and 24, the plot takes a turn. We learned that since Joseph spoke to them through an interpreter, the brothers did not know that Joseph understood them when they talked among themselves. Therefore, they felt comfortable speaking to each other in Hebrew in front of Joseph. When Joseph hears that his brothers believe that they are being punished for selling their brother into slavery, Joseph turns away from them and weeps. Why does he weep? Once again, we have to ask, is there something bigger going on in the story? Now, before Joseph allows the brothers to leave, he decides to keep Simeon with him, ensuring that the brothers will return. However, as the brothers are about to leave, we learn that Joseph secretly had the money that the brothers used to pay for the grain returned to their sacks. The mystery of Joseph's purpose throughout the story continues to grow. Turning to Psalm 37, verses 10 and 11, it reads, "Yet a little while, and the wicked will be no more. Though you look diligently for their place, they will not be there. But the meek shall inherit the land, and delight themselves in abundant prosperity." This sounds very familiar to the words of Jesus recorded in Matthew 5:5, which read, "Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth." Over the years, I have heard several questions about the meaning of this word, meek. Many times we associate meekness with weakness, or being milquetoast. Therefore, how are we to display meekness as Christians? The same Greek word, praus, is used here in Matthew 5 and in the Greek version of Psalm 37, verse 11, also known as the Septuagint. Therefore, since Psalm 37 is part of the Hebrew Bible, we can compare the Greek word used in Psalm 37, verse 11, with the Hebrew word used in the same verse. The Hebrew word used there is anav. Now, this Hebrew word is also used in Zechariah 9:9 and Numbers 12:3. So we find additional contextual data points to help us better define how ancients understood anav, or praus. In Zechariah 9:9 it says, "Rejoice greatly, O daughter of Zion. Shout aloud, O daughter of Jerusalem. Lo, your king comes to you. Triumphant and victorious is he, humble, a nav, and riding on a donkey, on a colt, the foal of a donkey. And in Numbers 12, verse 3, now the man Moses was very humble, a nav, more so than anyone else on the face of the earth. This first text from Zechariah was used in the Gospels during the triumphal entry to refer to Jesus. The second refers to Moses, who was God's agent to confront Pharaoh and to lead his people out of Egypt. Meekness or humility is not weakness or being milquetoast. Instead, meekness is power commanded by wisdom. Meekness and humility are the opposite of self-assertiveness or self-interest. Meekness is a trait to be sought after. It provides a framework founded on strength, discipline, thoughtfulness, and wisdom. Meekness honors God and serves the world. Meekness searches for the best in others and the best for others. Finally, in Luke chapter 12, beginning in verse 39, but know this, if the owner of the house had known at what hour the thief was coming, he would not have let his house be broken into. You also must be ready, for the Son of Man is coming at an unexpected hour. And then in verse 43, blessed is the slave whom his master will find at work when he arrives. There is a difference between waiting for Jesus and watching for his return. We are to be ready and active. We are to be doing our very best for God and for his world in anticipation of his return, not just sitting back and waiting for it. Thank you for joining us today. Until next time, stay on the trail.